Welcome to RSAC Conference 2025. We're here recording live from the Cyber Risk TV studio in Broadcast Alley at Moscone West. I'm your host, Mandy Logan, and joining me for this interview is Aboul-Magd, VP of Product, Cybersecurity Group at SandboxAQ. Welcome, Mo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I would imagine being in your position, that being at RSAC, let me get this correct,
Yep.
was exciting because you are actually working with SandboxAQ, which is developing so many things that are AI and and eventually quantum related.
Yep.
So when you are walking the show floor, when you are meeting with people, does it feel like enhanced excitement to be on the inside of what everybody is talking about?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think coming to RSA is always a great experience. It's the biggest cybersecurity conference in the world. There's just so many companies here doing a lot of really different things. It's a great opportunity to talk to customers, hear what people are doing, like what they're worried about. But yeah, definitely. I think it's really fun, especially this time around of being at SandboxAQ, where we're really trying to push the envelope around AI, around quantum, around kind of large quantitative models, and
Okay.
kind of seeing the trend of AI being mentioned a lot. And I've been hearing a little bit about quantum and post-quantum coming up as well, and it's really encouraging to see and really exciting that we're here kind of pushing that envelope, and we're starting to see these trends really kind of take off.
And quickly, because of your computer science background, so when you were a freshman just looking into all of the possibilities,
Yeah.
and you look ahead now, you're going like, wow, I'm in it, I made it, I am doing what I
Yeah.
dreamt of back then.
Oh, definitely. When I was a freshman, the cloud wasn't even a thing. The clouds were actual clouds, which
Right.
just rains down water on you. But yeah, I think seeing what's happening now, I don't think anyone could have really imagined it at that point, way back then. And even I mean, we were talking about this before, of just being in San Francisco and just seeing the number of Waymos that are driving around
Yes.
is pretty wild, like how many there are, and that's all driven by advancements in AI, advancements in technology. So it's definitely an interesting and a very, very exciting time too.
It is. Now, will you please tell me more about SandboxAQ?
Yeah, definitely. So we originated in Google, so in Alphabet and in the Moonshots division. We spun out of Alphabet in 2022. The beginning of the mission for why Sandbox kind of started was to try to figure out, is there cool problems? Are there problems that we could try to solve for at the intersection of AI and quantum? So that's where the A stands for, is AI, and then the Q stands for quantum. Spun out of Alphabet in 2022. Since then, we've had two fundraising rounds of just under $1 billion. So a lot of really great investors, really kind of backing what we're doing, and really believe in what we're doing around large quantitative models, and applying those to kind of different sectors of the of solving kind of a bunch of real world problems, which is super exciting.
Well, can you tell me one? Like, what is one real world problem that
Yeah.
LQMs are solving?
Yeah, definitely. So maybe I'll describe what LQMs are, and then kind of dive into some of those problems. So everybody knows large language models. They've really taken off with ChatGPT, where it's really kind of text-based interactions and trained on basically all the internet and cat pictures. So
Right.
really great for customer service types of interactions, where you want to have a chatbot where someone kind of talks to an LLM, and then it brings you back kind of some answers. LQMs are trained on numbers. They're trained on numerical kind of information, and really meant to solve real world use cases. So one of the examples is within Sandbox, we have a division that's focused on helping with drug discovery or material simulation, where using the training sets that we come up with, they're generated by the equations of chemistry, and to be able to then simulate how different molecules are going to work with each other, so that we can really accelerate drug trial times, for example. And we look to implement the same type of thing for cybersecurity as well, which we can definitely dive into. But it's really around training on numbers, finding the quantitative relationship in all of this vast amount of data that we're analyzing very, very quickly, and then surfacing really interesting insights for you to solve actual problems.
So that makes me think you're talking about predictive security.
It's definitely one aspect of it.
But how does that play out? So for somebody in the field, somebody who is on the security team or in the SOC, what would they see that you would say goes, yeah, that's exactly part of LQM's ability to predict what is coming?
Yeah. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll use ActiveGuard as sort of the example
yes.
of what we do.
That was just released last week, right?
That was. Yeah. So that's our cybersecurity product that we released. So it's a non-human identity and cryptography management platform.
Non-human identity and cryptography
Yes.
management platform.
Yeah.
You might need to come back to that, but
Yeah. No, definitely.
Go ahead.
We can dive into that. So, effectively, what we do with ActiveGuard, with like the way that we leverage LQMs is we plug into what we call the security exhausts of your organization. So, like you as a company already have a bunch of different security tools deployed out there, and those tools are generating a large amount of data. So we pull that data into our systems. Our large quantitative models analyze that data, and then is able to surface a lot of really interesting insights in that data. We're able to surface in real time, what exists out there inside of your environment, what are the real-time threats that exist and the real-time risk, and then also be able to help you close the loop with kind of very specific ways to be able to go and solve those problems. And LQM sort of sit at the heart of being able to kind of surface that real-time threat and that real-time insight for you.
Okay, so what is an example? Like if they're given a report and it says, here's your key action step now, can you give an example of what that might be?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe a great use case to dive into is been talking to a lot of organizations about like post-quantum readiness. So this is where quantum computers are going to be coming out soon, and basically the encryption that we're utilizing that underpins basically
Is done for.
it's done for. Like
Right.
it underpins all of our digital worlds. So quantum computers are going to break that encryption. So I've been talking to a lot of organizations who want to figure out, well, where's my risk? Like where am I actually exposed to this? So what we're able to do is they leverage a product like ActiveGuards to plug into their existing environment. We pull in all of that data. We surface for them, like what our LQMs are able to surface are, here's all the cryptography that exists. We found it all. We've got full visibility into all the cryptography, all of the credentials you're utilizing across your entire environment. Our LQMs are able to present that in a way that's really easy to understand and consume as well. So not a lot of noise, just kind of very focused on just here's the exact list of things that exist. And our LQMs are able to surface a couple things. One is, hey, we found a key that's not post-quantum safe. This is a problem. And then we're also able to analyze, give you kind of real-time insights as well of like, this key is being utilized in real time right now. We've detected like some anomalous threats happening, like someone is utilizing this, let's say you're a retail company, and you suddenly see a spike in someone utilizing this key or their certificate or this credential in January, and your peak season was during the holidays. Our LQMs are able to kind of pull all that data in from your systems, analyze that, and surface those types of things for you so that you can really quickly be able to act on them.
So, and outside of the full security stack, they in general with your clients, they don't have other platforms that are providing the same insights?
No. So that's a great question. They have products that's all sort of slices of the problem. So they have some products that might give you, small visibility into here's my certificates that exist, or some visibility into here's some secrets that might exist that my developers hard-coded into my code. But they don't have a product that holistically looks across the entire environment, from your applications to what's being used in your network traffic to what's being actually sitting on your servers and your endpoints, and gives you a single pane glass view into absolutely everything. So you have full end-to-end visibility.
That makes me think that not only with the consistent intake of data, the data flow that you're getting from all of your users, but also with your positioning on AI and quantum, that probably ahead of the curve at SandboxAQ with thinking of what is coming after quantum.
Yeah.
Like once it's here.
Yeah.
Can you share anything on the forward trajectory of SandboxAQ?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a really interesting problem because it's one that it's a problem that exists today. And that's why we're excited about it, and all the customers and organizations I've talked to are excited about. But it's a problem that's going to become exponentially more complex and more challenging with in the near future as quantum computing comes in, as quantum tech takes off, and even as the use of AI agents really begins to rise as well. So like take AI agents, for example. I think that's a good one where it's not far out. Like we're seeing that adoption now. Where
Absolutely.
a lot of organizations
Well, and we're working quickly to billions.
absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it's because they drive productivity. Like organizations want to adopt AI agents because they drive productivity, so they're really eager to utilize it to do things like develop code or develop applications for you. And like you mentioned, like there's well over a billion AI agents that are out there that are out there and being utilized. Now, some of the problems with AI agents is the security around it really isn't that strong. I think you see this trend kind of with any new technology coming in of like,
yes.
wow, tons of value, let me jump on and take advantage of it, and security is the last thing that you think about.
Right.
And it's not any different here. And one of the aspects of security, which is a challenge with AI agents, is how do you have visibility into the credentials and the non-human identities that these agents are using to go and access data from this machine or access data from this spot. And these AI agents are autonomous, so you don't really know what they're going to decide to do next. So that's a really interesting problem, but it's not one that is a future problem, and it's not one that's a future problem when AI agents really take off even more or quantum comes out. It's a problem that exists today.
Right.
And all the organizations I've talked to, there's really no full visibility into all of the credentials and how their secrets are being utilized, or their keys or certificates or crypto is being utilized.
Right.
So the problem exists today. It's one that's going to become exponentially more complex with AI agents and with quantum tech as it comes out. So what's interesting, I think, and exciting, working at Sandbox is we're solving a real world problem today, but we're definitely, we're solving a problem that's going to become even more acute, I think, as time goes on. That's a really interesting space, I think, for us to be in.
It is. I mean, it's still, to me, it gives me the feeling of living the future. You're
Yeah.
riding the wave of what is already here,
Definitely.
and yet you're so well positioned for being at the forefront of what becomes standard.
Mhm.
And for any moment in time, that's a privilege.
It is.
That is a huge privilege.
It really is.
I'm curious, so with it's ActiveGuard, right?
It's ActiveGuard, yeah.
ActiveGuard, are there any free trials, or how does the audience get information on?
There is, yeah. So we do have a free trial for ActiveGuard, so free trial for 30 days. So anyone can hop into the product, utilize it, start to use all the features with it. On our website, activeguard.com, on there is all the information. So you can go in and learn more about the product, about the use cases, things like that, and then be able to sign up for a demo. And then our team will get back to you and take you through a demo, and then sign up for the free trial as well.
What is the time to deploy?
Time to deploy is really fast. So it's a SaaS-based product. So in terms of kind of getting started, to go from there's nothing to deploy inside of your environment. It's entirely SaaS. It scales. The architecture is meant to scale, especially with like all that data that we're pulling in and analyzing in real time. It has to. And because we're plugging into what we call your security exhaust, the time to go from starting to see value is super short. Basically, we've got integrations with companies like Palo Alto, with CrowdStrike. So if you're using those products already in your environment, it's a couple clicks in our UI to be able to connect those to ActiveGuard. And then we start to show you real-time insights into visibility into all of your credentials and crypto, and then start to immediately show you the risk associated with it as well, and how do you remediate that risk. So the time is really, really short to be able to go from starting to value.
And what is something you've heard of that you didn't expect with a customer who did deploy integrate? Is there any story you can give us that was something like, didn't really expect that outcome?
Yeah. I think it's the visibility that they suddenly are able to get. I was talking to a customer earlier, and what they were sharing was they're trying to get ready for post-quantum. And they were sharing, well, I know what I know. I know, if everybody in the organization followed things to the T, like here's where my keys and my secrets and my credentials live, I know where those things are, but I don't know what I don't know. And I think what organizations have really been surprised by, and it's been really cool to be able to see, is just the sheer amount of volume in terms of just where there's crypto and credential sprawl is across the organization. It's popping up in areas that and being utilized by systems or applications that they just absolutely didn't even expect to have happen, which is really cool. It's really interesting to be able to see. A little scary, but
that
also
has
cool.
to be satisfying once it's mapped and you know.
Definitely.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
No, thank you so very much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. To find out more about SandboxAQ, please visit securityweekly.com/SandboxRSAC. For all RSAC 2025 coverage by Cyber Risk Alliance, please visit securityweekly.com/RSAC. Thank you again, Mo.
Yep. Thank you.
This has been fantastic. Now, stick around. We'll be right back after the break to wrap up from RSAC 2025.